Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? You already know what time it is. It is me. He is I, and I am him. I am he that they call, yes, sir, the alpha male. You see it. You see it. Yes, sir, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Alpha Male Sports. Wanted to get into it relatively quickly today. Um, I had something set up for Monday, right? I had something set up for Monday. Monday, I was gonna tap in, you know what I'm saying, and really just make sure that you all were just keeping up with what was going on Sunday and Monday, and well, yeah, Sunday and Monday, to be fair, Sunday and Monday. If you got any comments, you want to say anything, make sure that you tap it or type in. I'll be able to see in the chat. So if you're on Facebook, if you're on Instagram, if you're on Twitter, if you are on Twitch, or on YouTube, make sure that you just, whatever chat that you are in, just type it in the chat. It comes straight to me. I'll be able to see it and talk back to you. But I got a whole rundown. So first we're gonna talk about Thursday night football. What happened Thursday night? What happened between the really, really tough Lions, and it's so hard to say the Lions are a tough team, but we'll talk about the Lions real quick. We'll definitely talk about uh, what's going on with Patrick Mahomes, what's going on with Travis Kelce, what's going on with the Chiefs. Are the Chiefs out of it? Are we afraid of the Chiefs anymore, of the big bad wolf Chiefs or whatnot? As you can see around me, just real quick, it's like I'm trying to hide some stuff, but I'm not. But anyway, what's going on around me real quick is a lot of construction. Right now, I'm fixing up my room right now. I'm kind of moving in a few things. I got a couple posters I want to put up, but whatever. But anyway, back to the point. I'm going to talk about a lot of these things. Definitely got to talk about Coach Prime. And one coach specifically is on the hot seat. One coach specifically in college football is on the hot seat. I want to know if you can guess him. He won a national championship. So just, think it. He won a national championship. And that's about it. That's all I can think of. He has, I think one of his quarterbacks that he got to the NFL is, in the NFL. I can say that. I don't want to give it away too much, but we'll get to that in a second. So let's jump right. Oh, yeah. And we'll talk about Heisman Watch as well. So let's just go ahead and get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. You all know what time it is. It is me, he is I, and I am him. I am he that they call the alpha male. And really excited, if you hear my voice, very excited. But definitely got to get into Thursday night. Now, of course, last night, not last night, but Thursday night, we knew about Travis Kelce not playing in the game, due to him, I would say, well, just hyperextending his knee. It was, you wanted to be, proud of the. Oh, appreciate it, CG. Appreciate it. So anyway, we're dealing with all of this, what's going on right now, and Travis Kelce, he hyperextends his knee. He's not able to make it. He was a game time decision. It was definitely a game time decision. And so, Travis Kelce does this thing. He's ruled out for the game. And then you also tack in Chris Jones, who is also holding out. He is currently holding out. He's currently holding out with the Kansas City Chiefs. So as you can see, it seems like everything was mounted against the Kansas City Chiefs. But for some weird reason, no one counted out the Chiefs. Everyone thought the Chiefs were going to win the game. Everyone believed that the Chiefs were going to win. I even thought deep down that the Chiefs were going to win the game because they're the defending champs. We'd expect that from them, right? They're going to come in regardless of all of what's going on. They're going to come in and go win the game. Didn't happen. Kadarius Toney just disappeared. I mean, balls just falling out of his hands. Pause. But he has all of those things going on. I mean, and just it was a bad night. Now, if you haven't remembered, or if you suddenly forgot back when the trade happened between Jared Goff and the Rams and Matthew Stafford with who was it? Yeah, with the Lions, right? So what happened there? The last time Patrick Mahomes and Jared Goff did play each other, that was back in 2018. If you remember, he was with the then Los Angeles Rams at the time. Jared Goff was, and that was, I mean, it was a barn burner. It was a barn burner, lights out, back and forth scoring. I think it ended up 54-51 in favor of Jared Goff. And now Jared Goff is 2-0 versus Patrick Mahomes because, of course, on Thursday night, Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, they fell to the Lions. And I mean, just I gotta speak on it. The Lions were good. They ran the ball. They played well. I mean, there's nothing that anybody can say about the Lions that that just takes it away. No one can say anything about the Lions right now. And to be honest, the Lions are here to stay. They are my pick to win the division, but that's just me. They are my pick to win the division. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Alpha Male Sports. If you have a comment or anything, make sure that you tap it in. Type it into the chat. Of course, already my college roommate CG, he was he definitely shouted me out. My old college teammate, my boy Ron Baker, he was talking about how about those Falcon fans. So we definitely got to talk about the Falcon fans for sure, because it was a little eerie. It's weird for a win, if that makes sense. It's weird for a win. It's weird for people to have such a conversation about quarterbacks. But anywho. Detroit, like I said, on the board first. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he was catching all over the field. I mean, the Chiefs, move ahead 14-7, and then from that point on, I think the Lions, I mean, they just stepped it up. So, it is what it is. I mean, Thursday night, it was Thursday Night Football. Now, this Thursday night, we have a rematch of last year's Vikings versus the Eagles. No one expected for the Eagles to beat the Vikings last year, mainly because, the Vikings, they got into a really strong start. They got out to a really impressive start. And then you flopped in the first round of the playoffs to the then New York Giants. So now, flipping back over to Thursday night, you got Jalen Hurts, you got A.J. Brown, you got all these guys on this team. And I do not see the Eagles falling to the the Vikings. I just can't see it. I cannot see it. And if anybody, feels different, please feel free to talk to me in the chat. But as I look right now, going and I'm, going on to my sources and checking to see, like, who can give the Eagles a run for their money. And I will say their division is quite tough. You got the Cowboys, who just mounted a 40-point win against the Giants. Excuse me for that. You got the Commanders. They look real. I can't say that they aren't a real team, but you got the Eagles got a dub against the Patriots. You got the Vikings coming up, the Buccaneers and the Commanders the next 3 games. So they are going to be tested this year. They're going to be tested going forward. But I'm sticking with the Eagles. I definitely feel like the Eagles are going to win tomorrow night versus the Vikings. I don't think they have a quarterback. I still don't think they have a quarterback, but it's neither here nor there. I do believe, like I said, the Eagles are going to win, and we'll just leave it at that. That's the Thursday Night Football, and that's how I feel. You know what I'm saying right now. But anyway, let's talk about something as far as college football is concerned. And as you can see, yes, I'm sweating. I'm sweating. It gets warm in here. All these lights shining on you and whatnot. But anyway, college football last weekend, and right now everybody is focused on Prime. Everybody is focused on Prime. Everybody and their mama is focused on Coach Prime. And I like it. It's good for football, and it couldn't have come at a more perfect time, in my honest opinion. I mean, right now, Alabama is really on its way out. They're on their way out. They cannot reign dominance on college football like they have done before in past years. But no one's scared of Alabama anymore. As you can see, Alabama, they fell to USC last weekend. No, I'm sorry, not USC, Texas, not USC. Oh my gosh. Anyway, but yeah, they fell to Texas last weekend, and no one's afraid of them. But that's not the coach that I'm talking about that's on the hot seat. We'll get to that in a second. But of course, Bama versus Texas last weekend, and a meeting of the ranks, if you will, and it was quite impressive. I have to say, Alabama did what they could. You know what I'm saying? And surely enough, Texas comes in and they put a whooping to Alabama, winning 34-24. Like I said, it was impressive. Alabama, they have a good quarterback, and he can throw down the field, but I don't I don't know what to make of this offense. I do not know what to make of this offense, but you know, Alabama being basically mauled or just quieted in the fourth quarter, losing 34-24, but Texas mounting 21 points right after the other. You know what I'm saying, in the fourth quarter. And that was, in my opinion, the more impressive part about it. Quinn Ewers, I don't know how to say his name. Quinn Ewers, 24 for 38, 349 yards and 3 touchdowns. Of course, Milroe for Alabama, the big, bulky quarterback that we know about, was 14 for 27, 255 yards, 2 touchdowns. So, oh, yeah, and 2 interceptions at that. So, as you can see, the turnover game definitely plays a factor in the game of football altogether. You know what I'm saying? You cannot turn the ball over and expect to, win the game. But that's neither here nor there. We'll keep it at that. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Alpha Male Sports. You are tuned into Alpha Male Sports, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going over right now just college football in general. I'll be explaining who my Heisman watch, or who is on my Heisman watch right now, or who has, Heisman capabilities. Make sure that you type it in and tell me who your Heisman candidates are. Tell me who you feel is up for the Heisman. I have a few people, so I'll definitely let you know. But anyway, like I said, Bama and Texas over the weekend, and I believe that was the thing that everybody wanted to see, was Bama versus Texas. Everybody wanted to see Bama do what they do. They beat up on their opponents, and they definitely don't run away from a ranked opponent. But this one was definitely eerie to see Alabama losing to the Texas Longhorns. Now, going forward, the Texas Longhorns, who are they facing? That is an interesting. Yeah, they, of course, Wyoming, Baylor, Kansas, and then their next ranked opponent will be Oklahoma. So that will be interesting to see, the Red River rivalry. You know what I'm saying? Oklahoma versus Texas. And I'm sure Texas moves up in the ranks above Alabama, I would assume. Texas was, of course, going into the game number 11, Alabama number 3. Either way. But something that I feel was more important than Texas and Alabama was, of course, Coach Prime. Coach Prime was definitely the focal point of this weekend. He was definitely the focal point of the weekend. He was the focal point, you know what I'm saying? Just right now, he's just what people look for in college football. And I couldn't be more excited. I could not be more excited, about how he has things wrapped up and going so far. And just keeping it a buck with you, I really hope that they can go as far as they can go. And I mean by, I don't know whether or not they're going to win some of the games that they're going to win. Well, that's on their schedule, but I feel that they're going to win. I feel like they're going to win a lot of games this upcoming year. But let's get right into it. Of course, Colorado taking on Nebraska. And, after defeating TCU, you know what I'm saying? Like, Nebraska should have been a cakewalk. They started off, I would say, slow, if you will. I think they did kind of start off slow. Nebraska was getting a good push. Shador was, kind of running for his life because they got a few sacks on him as well. So it was a good game all together. In the beginning, Nebraska was trying to run the ball, establish who they are as far as the run game is concerned. And Colorado, they stuck down in their heels and they won the game, beating Nebraska 28 to 14. I'm sorry, 36 to 14. I don't know where I got 28 from. But anyway, Shador Sanders, he didn't throw any interception or anything. 31 for 24, 394 yards for 2 touchdowns. The kid can throw. And I'm going to tell you now, he's in my high list. He's somebody to look out for. Shador Sanders 2024. I'm hoping that the Falcons can get him. But anyway, we'll get to that in a second. But Colorado, like I said, they did a very good job, against Nebraska. And they stuck to it. And I ain't going to hold you, listen to what Shador says, Shador Sanders, listen to what he says in regards to playing in Division I football.
I'll say the only difference between FCS and this level is the D-line get off blocks if you try to scramble up faster. That's it. Everything else, you got good players, you got good DBs, good receivers, everything like that. You just have more of those on the field at once. You got to think.
Let me take that off. I'll take that off. All right. That didn't work like I wanted it to. That didn't work like it was supposed to. I'll say that. Let me get a better version of Shador if I can find it actually. Yeah, let me get a better one of Shador and see if you guys can check that one out, because again, he makes a point. He says the only thing different about FCS and the BCS, and that's where a lot of the HBCUs are. They are in the FCS, the Bethune-Cookman, the Florida A&Ms, the Tennessee States. They are in the what you call the football bowl. I'm sorry, the football championship series, the FCS, and a lot of where Shador is now is in the FBS, which is totally different. You know what I'm saying? So I see where he gets it. I see what his point is. Defensive linemen and offensive linemen are a lot more stronger. They're more different. It's just the guys up front. And you guys saw it. Deion said it himself. It's just the men up front. You got receivers that are good. You got DBs that are good. You got quarterbacks that are really good. Everybody can't go D1. Everybody's not going to go, to the league, if you will. So where do they go? You know what I'm saying? And he really did. In my opinion, he made a really good point. But here it is. I think I got it. The
only difference between FCS and this level is the D-line get off blocks if you try to scramble up faster. That's it.
Yeah, y'all don't know if y'all heard that. I'm going to take that off together. There's a little kink in the road. I'll get it together. Either way. But another thing that did strike my interest over the weekend was the Miami Hurricanes. The Miami Hurricanes did an awesome job last weekend. We got to give them a round of applause. Because they mounted an incredible upset over the ranked Texas A&M Aggies. They mounted an incredible upset at home versus the Texas A&M Aggies, and I'm gonna say it now. Jimbo Fisher is now on my hot seat. Jimbo Fisher, the coach for the Texas A&M Aggies, is on my hot seat, and I have some. I got proof. I got receipts, and I got proof. Because at this point, Jimbo Fisher was expected to get Nick Saban up out of there. Jimbo Fisher was expected to take, he was expected to take his school, Texas A&M, to a national championship. He did it at Florida State. That was something that everybody was excited for. It's like, oh, okay, he got them to a national championship. Well, why can't we? Me and my brother, we got into a conversation about it, and he made a good point. I think where he went wrong was that Texas was like, hey, we have the money, and you have the coaching ability. I just don't think he's the guy. I really do not feel that Jimbo Fisher is the guy for Texas A&M. And to be honest, if they fall out of the top ranks, or if they fall out of the rankings altogether, if they don't end the season with a ranked, record, if they are not ranked at the end of the year, it's over with for Jimbo. It's over with for Jimbo Fisher. Simple and plain. Tyler Van Dyke, 21 for 30 passing, 374 yards. He averaged 12.5 yards per pass, 5 touchdowns, 94.6 QBR on the game. That was impressive. Again, giving him round of applause. Connor Wegman, 31 for 53, 336 yards, 2 touchdowns, and yes, 2 interceptions. Yes, sir. You cannot win while turning the ball over. This is the first time Miami has started 2-0 in a very long time. Hopefully they can continue This weekend, they'll take on Bethune-Cookman. After that, of course, they have Temple and Georgia Tech. So it doesn't seem like they're going to be tested like right off the bat. I think the next test that they have is North Carolina. Florida State, of course, is going to be a difficult one because they are the grand poobah of the ACC right now. So I would not expect Miami to just run the table, but I mean their record is favorable. Their record is favorable, so I can see how they can possibly do something like that. Now, back to Jimbo Fisher, because again, I feel like Jimbo Fisher was the man for everyone in College Station. Everyone in College Station believed he was the guy that was going to do it. He was the guy that was not only going to take the SEC championship, but he was going to beat Saban. He was going to beat Nick Saban. And he did. I will say he did that. He did beat Nick Saban once. But as a national champion, he has been, you know what I'm saying? He has been in College Station for almost 6 years, and he has done neither. He has not brought, you know what I'm saying? He's not brought a championship. He hasn't brought a national championship. He hasn't brought an SEC championship. And yet they continue to bring recruits. They keep bringing scholarship. But you got to remember, 2018, NIL kicked in, the transfer portal ramped up, and guys started to decide, I want to go here. I want to go here. I want to go here. No matter what school they're at, I want to go here. That's how they approached it. But I have receipts for Jimbo Fisher because he has a lot of disappointing losses that I don't think we pay any attention to. But if you go back, let's say 2018, the Aggies blew a 10-7 halftime lead, in a 15-point loss, to Mississippi State. They don't, who loses to Mississippi State in the SEC? They're like the baby Bulldogs. They should be called the Mississippi State baby Bulldogs. You didn't even realize that they were a Bulldog, right? There's another Bulldog in the SEC anyway. 2019, 50-7 loss to number one LSU. I'm sorry, this has been 2019. Was the Aggies' fifth defeat of the season. 5 defeats in one season. Of course, that is embarrassing, and that is something that you cannot, have as a college coach, especially Jimbo Fisher. Now, just being quite honest, you were not going to beat LSU back in 2019. That was the Jamar Chase. That was the Joe Burrow. That was Justin Jefferson. You're not beating the 2019 LSU Bayou Bengals. You were not going to beat those guys. 2020, of course, that was the COVID year. And then, of course, his only blemish in 2020 was that he was a 52-24 loss to Alabama. Of course, Texas A&M 2021 season ended with a loss to LSU. It was a bad LSU team at that. 2022, the Aggies ran only 38 plays in a home loss to Appalachian State. Do I need to continue? Should I continue? There's more. But I also want to point out that this all happened under Jimbo Fisher's watch. I'm not saying this is Jimbo Fisher's doing. Of course, as a coach, you're supposed to facilitate. You can't play the game also. But I do believe Jimbo Fisher, he's not the guy to do it. I think you're going to need somebody else in Texas A&M that is going to kind of do what Deion does. And not to beat a dead drum, but Deion has shown how you can bring in recruits and they would stay for a while. You know what I'm saying? You need some of that experience. I don't know if Jimbo Fisher is the guy to continue with Texas A&M. But, yeah, that's as I go on this season, I'm going to see who else is on the hot seat. Who else can you think of? Right now, I think Alabama's on the hot seat. No, Alabama's not going to get rid of Nick Saban. No, Alabama is not going to fire Nick Saban anytime soon. I just feel like Nick Saban is on the hot seat. You have lost the luster. You have lost your luster. And it's perfectly fine. We get it. But we got to find a way to get it back. We got to find a way for Nick Saban to get it back, and we need to do it quickly. But I'm going to go into this Heisman watch. I'm going to talk about this Heisman watch because I got to say, I don't know. Could we possibly, should we possibly see two guys from the same school in the Heisman? Could we see two guys from the same school in the Heisman runnings? My Heisman watch. You got Shador Sanders. You got Jordan Travis out of Florida State. Caleb Williams, quarterback out of USC. Travis Hunter, athlete out of Colorado because he plays both ways, defensive back and wide receiver. And then you got Bo Nix. And I threw Bo Nix in there because everybody else is throwing Bo Nix in there. But I don't know if Bo Nix is Heisman worthy. In all honesty, I feel like we should talk about Tyler Van Dyke out of Miami. Not to say that he will be in the front runners of the Heisman, but that was Heisman work right there. You beat a ranked team at home, and not only that, but you post 5 touchdowns. That's impressive. Give him a round of applause again. Give him another round of applause because that was impressive. But I forgot to mention one thing that I think is very pivotal. We got to ask this question. You know, week 4 and 5, of course, Colorado, they got Oregon, they got USC. You know, can they beat another ranked opponent? Can they beat another ranked team? This weekend, of course, you got Colorado State. Everybody is expecting them to win. As a matter of fact, I would not be surprised if they are a favorite in the game. I'm not surprised if they are favored to win, you know what I'm saying, the entire game. I wouldn't be surprised at that. But when I think about it, you know, can they win another ranked game? Can they beat another ranked opponent? You got USC, you know, who will be coming in later on this what is it, this month? Yeah, this month. Or next month. Oh, no, it's this month. Yeah, this month. You got USC coming up. You got number 13 Oregon coming up. And now down the line, of course, you got Washington State, you got Oregon State, and you got Utah. So those are going to be some other ranked opponents. And UCLA, let me not forget them. So you got other ranked teams that's going to come along the line. But Colorado's being tested early. They're going to be tested early. But I wonder, can they beat another ranked opponent? I want you guys to tell me in the comments, can they beat another ranked opponent? And honestly, if I would put my money on it, I would bank on Oregon. I think Oregon would be the game. I think USC will be definitely a tough one, but I think Oregon will be the one. Oregon is another week away. You know what I'm saying? It feels like that would be the right game for them to do it, and it would be at Oregon. It would be at Oregon. So I'll be interested to see what that does. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Alpha Male Sports. He is I and I am him. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. And thank you for rocking with me on this Wednesday night. I know you could be anywhere else, but you are here with wow. But that's who I have for the top 5 or the 5 Heisman guys that I feel are going to do some work. You know what I'm saying? Ronald Baker said he doesn't see it. I don't know what you don't see, but he doesn't see it. But Shador Sanders, Jordan Travis out of Florida State, Caleb Williams out of USC, Travis Hunter out of Colorado. Travis Hunter out of Colorado, and Bo Nix out of Oregon. Now, definitely want to give a major shout out to Nick Bosa for getting paid 5 years, $170 million contract extension. Major shouts out to him. He is the highest paid non-quarterback to be paid in the NFL. So definitely got to give a major shout out to him. Also, another major shout out goes to Joe Burrow. He signed a 5-year, $275 million extension. But unfortunately, Joe Burrow comes out and lays a complete dud week 1 of the NFL season. You lay a dud the first game of the NFL season. Wasn't expecting it. Just going to call it like it is. Call it like I see it. I did not expect for them to lose that way. First game of the season, you only scored 3 points with Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow on the same team. I would not have called that. I wouldn't have fathomed, seen none of that. I just didn't see it. Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns did a very good job. Now Cincinnati has to come up with a matchup against another conference rival, taking on the Baltimore Ravens at 1 o'clock on CBS. So good luck to them because that's going to be tough. But major shouts out to all those guys getting paid, getting paid, getting paid. Week 1 of the NFL season was a doozy. Another Matt Ryan another Matt Ryan getting the money then sucking. Oh, I can't get with that. So my man, my teammate, I have to say is my teammate. He and I played at Benedictus Collegium. We played the time where we sucked. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm on Twitter all the time, and when I tell you everybody has Benedict, I mean going crazy. We were there when Benedict was trash, and this is predated. I'm talking about before these uniforms. But major shouts out to Benedict. But my man Ronald Baker said that another Matt Ryan. So he calls Joe Burrow Matt Ryan. I don't agree or believe in that. Just want to point that out. And I don't like the Matt Ryan hate, but I still call it out. Like, I mean, it is what it is. You are here to say how you feel. I will not judge you for that, but you're wrong. You're wrong, Ronald Baker. You're wrong. Anywho, week 1 of the NFL season, Panthers versus Falcons. Falcons won. Texans versus Ravens. Ravens won. Browns beat the Bengals, which was a surprise to me. Jaguars beat the Colts, which was another surprise to me. No, I'm sorry, not the Jaguars and the Colts. The Bucs and Vikings. The Bucs and Vikings. Wow, the Bucs got to win. The Saints got to win versus the Titans. Cardinals fell to the Commanders. I saw that. The Bears losing to the Packers. Of course, I saw that. I did not see the Broncos losing to the Raiders. I felt like this would be the year. I felt like this would be the year for Russell Wilson to get his ish together. This is not Russell Wilson, Inc. This is the Denver Broncos. The Eagles, I will say, impressive game from the Eagles and the Patriots, because the Patriots, they are no slouch. I just want to point that out. They are nobody slouch. And if you think so, you are crazy. I just want to point that out. Rams and Seahawks. Rams, of course, stepped in and won big. Cowboys won big. And then, of course, the debacle on Monday Night Football, the Jets versus the Bills. It's still an impressive win by the Jets. I want to point that out. Very impressive win by the Jets in lieu of what happened, in lieu of Aaron Rodgers being taken out of the game. And it wasn't like it was a gruesome thing. It was just he got injured. And it was tough. It was tough to see that. But what I can say is that dealing with the Atlanta Falcons, and I say this for the end because I wanted to talk about this specifically, but I felt like everybody else did in the city that Desmond Ridder should have been rolled out in the preseason a little bit more. He only had 14 snaps in the preseason. I felt like he needed more. The only reason I felt like he needed more was simply because of the fact that as the game went along, he got better. He did not, and the main focus remains the main focus, okay? I want everybody to remember that. He didn't turn the ball over. That is the most important thing. That is the job of the quarterback. Take care of the damn ball. So I don't understand how we as fans, we want razzle dazzle, flash and dash, but we also we got to pick one. You got to pick one. Desmond Ridder was 15 for 18, 155 yards with 1 touchdown. So even to that degree, he threw a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? He did what he had to do. I don't see what is wrong with him. I don't think that Desmond Ridder, I'll say this. He's not going to win us a Super Bowl. He won't win us a Super Bowl. Do I think that we can get to a Super Bowl or win one with him at the helm? I don't know. The last team to do something like that was the 2001 or 2002 Ravens. Whatever. I think 2001 Ravens. Shannon Sharp, Ray Lewis, those guys. I feel like they were the only team that was able to do that. I don't know if this team assembled would be able to do that. Tyler Algier was impressive, 15 carries, 75 yards. But John Robinson got some burn. You know what I'm saying? He got a touchdown. So it was impressive. It was an impressive It was an impressive day. Bijan, he actually was 10 for 56 rushing. He got 6 receptions, 27 yards for 4.5 yards and a touchdown. So that was impressive. Again, major shouts out to him. Something that was a bit triggering or surprising was the fact that Drake London got 0. He did get not a 1. But I feel like the Falcons, they're going to develop as the season goes along. It's not going to be pretty to my Atlanta Falcon fans. It is not going to be pretty this year. I assure you, it is not going to be pretty. But will we make the playoffs? I think so. I really think so. And this is coming from somebody who said that the Saints are going to win the division. And we'll talk about that later as we go along. But next week, the Falcons, they're going to take on the Packers, and after that, they're going to take on the Lions, and then they will be heading across seas to take on the Jaguars. These next 4 weeks are going to be interesting. You got 3 really good teams. You got the Packers, of course, who has Jordan Love. So you're still trying to figure him out and see what you got going on with that. But then you got Jared Goff, you got Sunshine, Trevor Lawrence down with the Jaguars, and this back-to-back. So the Falcons got their work cut out for them this year. I'll be interested to see how things go along, but you tell me. Appreciate everybody for tuning in and listening to your boy ramble for about 40 minutes, but it is what it is. Make sure that you tune in. I'm going to be checking in with you guys every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Stay tuned for the shows, man. Stay tuned. Stay tuned all football season. Make sure you guys stay tapped in with me. Ladies and gentlemen, you already know what time it is. It is me. He is I, and I am him as I sweat my life away. It's the Alpha Male. Peace.